Good day, everybody. My name is Zack Klapman. If you don't know me, I've been with The Smoking Tire since the beginning. I've been writing for it, and I am a co-host on the Smoking Tire podcast. If you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out. Go to shoutengine.com/TheSmokingTire. It's us. It's lots of guests, journalists, comedians, all kinds of stuff talking about cars, making fools of ourselves, occasionally giving you some good information. Now, what are we in today? Today, we are driving the 2016 Mazda CX5. Crossover, SUV, whatever you like to call it, lifted wagon. This is the newest model of the CX5, meaning they did a refresh. They did a little bit of a redesign on the bodywork a few years ago. I drove the original CX5, which came out in 2013 at Laguna Seca during a press event, and I found it to be a really good surprise and a great offering for this market. The cornering speed was very good. The chassis felt pretty neutral. Traction control wasn't too invasive. It was a fun crossover. It was a fun SUV, and there's a lot of cars in that market. Every car company is trying to build more of them and then create new ones, like BMW. Soon they're going to have like the X3.5 GT Landau Camback edition, whatever. Aimed at the person who needs to carry a ladder made of teak wood back from a specific store. But the thing about a lot of those cars is they're aimed at people that need to move human beings around, do errands, want a higher viewpoint, need to get good gas mileage, family people. It's if you need a minivan or you could use a minivan and you don't want one for any variety of reasonable reasons, minivans are fantastic cars and do their job better than anything, trust me. And if you get a Dodge Caravan, you can do 360s in it in the rain. But if you don't want a minivan because they make you feel like you're dying inside, crossover is why they're here. So this car has a 2.5 liter direct injected engine, makes about 185 horsepower, torques about 183, I think 187 at 3,200 RPMs. So it's not bad. It's 0 to 60 is 7.7, which is not very fast. But you know what? It's also not that slow, because how many stoplight races do you actually run into every day? If you want to get in front of the pack of cars at the light next to you, just hit the gas all the way and you will. Everyone's texting, everyone's reading something, everyone is not paying attention to driving these days. Everyone is buying lottery tickets hoping that they can afford a Tesla that will drive itself so they can do anything else other than sit in a car. So if you pay attention, you can pass people. On the highway, yeah, it'll take a little more time. You just got to plan for it. It would be cool if they had a turbocharged version of this engine. If this had the same engine as the Hyundai Sonata, something similar, this would be an exceptionally great car. It would be a really fun, quick, usable all the time little sport truck. Excuse me. But it doesn't. So you got to plan your acceleration a little bit. It's a momentum car, but it's a great value. So this car is the Grand Touring front-wheel drive version. It's got all the bells and whistles they offer for $32,000. So what do you get for that? You get radar cruise control, you get lane departure warnings, you get blind spot monitors, rear view camera, satellite radio, navigation, Pandora, leather, heated seats, dual zone climate control. You get basically anything you need, and a lot of things that cost a lot more money in other cars. Radar cruise control in a car that costs $32,000 and gets 30 miles per gallon and looks this good. I like the inside, I like the outside a lot. That's a lot of value for your money. You get adaptive headlights, you get self-leveling this, you get extra LED fog lights that don't really do much anymore because everything has halogens anyway, sunroof. There's not much this car leaves you wanting in terms of amenities, and it also does it in a good-looking package. A car could give you everything you want, but it can also do it in a very unattractive way. If it's too utilitarian or if it's too creative, like a Juke, it's not always a good thing. But this, I think, is one of the best let's say, affordable interiors on the market today. I think Mazda, like Hyundai, does a lot with not a lot. That's a terrible sentence. Jesus. They make really good use of materials and money. They will put bright accents where they're important, where your eye is drawn to. The two-tone seats look really good. They know what you're going to look at, and they put the money in there to make it look pretty. And then they know what you're not going to look at as much, and they know what's not as important. So the result is an interior that maybe 10 years ago you could have put in an Audi and people would have been pretty impressed by it. Now it's like, yeah, it's got, fake chrome bezels and fake chrome on this on the dashboard there, but it all looks really good, and it makes you feel comfortable, and it makes you feel like you're in a classy joint. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna turn around here. The outside, I think the styling is really good. I think it's probably one of the best looking cars in the segment, if not the best looking. I like the design language they're using. It's across their whole line. Let's see. The chassis for this thing is shared with the Mazda 3 and a Mazda 6. And, dynamically, it's quite good. I think Mazda is kind of like the concierge or the hotel front desk person that you kind of sweet talk a little bit, and they give you some extra cookies. So they make the chassis light, for miles per gallon, and they make it rigid for, crash test reasons. But the result is a chassis that turns in well. I can feel what the tires are doing, even though the steering's electric assist. The cornering speed's really good. Traction control is not invasive at all. I've had it on the whole time. Even when getting a little bit of tire chirp, taking a corner quickly, I'm not getting that, throttle cut, braking all over the corners. I'm not getting this quick harnessing thing. I think a lot of cars today are like, overprotective parents that are putting water wings on their kid, even though they live in the middle of Nevada, and wear a helmet here, and don't go outside. Here's all your Purell. This is a little more trusting. Mazda kind of knows what they understand what they're known for, and I think they know that people that are going and shopping at their dealerships are probably a little more into driving or a little more into cars than people who are buying a CRV or buying a Journey or anything like that. Those people just need a tool to get a task done, and Mazda will reward the person that is interested in driving cars. There's cars that will inspire the most passive, holy priest to drive fast. You could put a very, relaxed person who's not into driving in a Ferrari or in a Porsche, and they're probably going to get on the gas more than they would normally. They're going to feel like, ooh, I'm in this thing. I should do this, and it maybe inspires bad behavior. But this car rewards people that are interested in driving cars. It's not in that market. It's not built as a sports car or being sold as a sport SUV. But if you are into cars and you are into driving, you'll get in it and you'll start noticing what it does and what it offers. And this will be the car for the domesticated track person. I think if say you're a young 20-something person, and by some terrible stroke of luck, you are the first example in the entire history of the world who the pull-out method did not work for. I know, it's flawless. It's worked for everybody, but maybe you are the outlier, you're the anomaly, you're patient zero. So you have to trade in your 350Z or your 370Z or your Mustang GT because you need more space and you need a car seat. And you need something with some cargo room for your dog and your bike. And you need something that gets pretty good gas mileage. And you have to give in to that life or to those needs. That's how life works. You have to do something. If you buy this car, when you're on a twisty road like this, you're gonna be so glad that you went and bought this instead of buying either a van or anything that kind of rolls over a lot in the corners, anything that understeers too much. You're not gonna feel like you lost a part of yourself. I think that's the fear for a lot of people as they get older. You know, you can't daily drive a track car. Most people can't do it. We all love to say we can. We all love to write on the internet, I would daily drive that F1 car. I don't know why that guy's putting it out, putting it in a trailer. You can't do that. You can't do things with it. It's uncomfortable. It gets old real quick. This is a daily driver. This is a commuter car. This would work in any climate as long as you put the right tires on it. But when you find yourself on a nice road with some turns and you start carrying some speed, you're going to be glad you bought it. You're not going to feel like you left a part of yourself behind, which is great. I mean, you can drive cars basically until you die. You can be 100 years old, and if all of your senses work, and if you're in a place with no other bystanders that you could possibly hit, you can keep driving fast. You might have to be carrying, a knitting set or your fishing gear or your walker, but if you're still interested in driving, this is going to be really fun. I mean, this almost feels like the domesticated FRS. This is the FRS minivan. It's not that powerful. It's 180. It's not that fast in a straight line. But look, in automatic and sport mode, it will hold redline in a corner. It will sit at $6,000 while I maintain throttle position, because it knows that when I come out of the corner, I'm going to be on the gas, accelerating the next corner, smiling, remembering that I like cars, remembering that I like driving, and it wants to play with me. It's not going to shut me down. It's not going to rein me in like a parent and say, no, you're too old for that. We can't do that anymore. Just sit back, listen to your XM radio, and enjoy this body roll. No, this is going to be the car that you can enjoy for a long, long time without losing that part of yourself. And I think that's great. And I almost missed this part. If you can't afford $32,000, which is a lot of money to a lot of people like me, you can get a sport version of this for $21,000 with a small engine and a manual transmission. I would recommend you do the 2.5 liter. The 2 liter is only 150 horsepower. That's probably too weak for anything. But 2.5 liter with an automatic, you can get that for $25,000. It doesn't come with radar cruise control. It doesn't come with adaptive headlights. It doesn't come with adaptive wipers. Fine, you don't need that. You have hands, you have an iPhone, you have eyeballs that will help you brake, and you have a foot. You have your own radar cruise control. It's called eyeballs, brake foot. So if you need something to carry people and you have $23,000, I think you should really consider this car. This is like a better looking Juke or a roomier and prettier Impreza for a little bit more money. I mean, if you're looking at buying like a $23,000 Impreza that doesn't have a turbo on it, you should probably just consider getting one of these and putting snow tires on it.